All right, look, it's vampire lesbians. What more do I need to say here? What is up, YouTube? It's RSMario here, bringing you another anime review. This time we have another Netflix banger, or is it gonna be more mid? We'll see in a second. So of course today we're talking about Vampire in the Garden, a Netflix original by Wit Studios, aka the studio that doesn't sleep, aka the studio that probably got a bunch of Japanese niggas locked up in a basement somewhere, just animating stuff non-stop, you know, on a drip feed of freaking Monster Energy drink and daggone ramen. You know what I'm saying? Because these guys, how many projects do Wit Studio have going right now? Like, they did Bubble, they did this one, they have a couple of YouTube have some kind of YouTube show going. Like, they're just pumping out projects like crazy. Like, they don't sleep. They don't sleep. Alright, so of course, if you want to continue getting videos like this from me, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell button, do all that good stuff YouTube requires you to do in order to continue getting videos from me. Let's get on into this. So, Vampire in the Garden follows two main characters in trying to find peace in a world that is fractured by war. A war between vampires and humans. You know, and the world itself looks really interesting. You know, it looks kind of post-apocalyptic. I get Gears of War vibes from this a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so it follows Momo, who is a human girl, she is the daughter of the general of the human army, or the army of humanity, and she gets disillusioned with the war and the army after she has a bad run-in with a vampire child that gets killed during one of their missions, and she's like, yeah, I'm done, I can't really do this anymore. And of course, being the daughter of the general, that's a bad look for her mom, because her mom is leading the army. If you can't motivate your daughter to continue the fight for humanity, how can you motivate anybody else? So of course, she sends Momo's uncle and the human special ops to go and track her down and fight her and bring her back. Then on the other side, they have Spinnin, who is the queen of the vampires, and she is also equally disillusioned with the war after after her previous girlfriend or her previous friend was killed by humans with a freaking minigun. Like, bro, like, she was just a regular human girl. Like, you ain't had to, he had to bust out a whole damn kill streak on this chick. Like, you could have just shot her with this sidearm. He's just like, no, she must die. Like, bro, that's freaking crazy, bro. But yeah, so her friend gets killed by humans, and because of course humans and vampires can't be together, and so she gets disillusioned, and she doesn't get disillusioned just with the war, but she gets disillusioned with life itself. And so during an attack on the human tower, or the human base of operations, Spinnin splits off from the army and decides to leave. It decides that this is her time to leave the fight in the vampire country altogether. And Momo does the same thing, and of course they meet each other, and boom, we're off to the races. All this happens in like 2 episodes, by the way, because this show is 5 episodes long. Now, usually, I would say that's a bad thing. A very bad thing. Because especially if you want to tell, you know, really good stories, you need time. Especially if it's episodic. 5 episodes is like roughly 2.5 hours. That's a nice sized movie, okay? But this show is not really affected by it too much. This show is able to do what it needs to do in 5 episodes. I've seen shows that have triple the length and aren't able to do that. Which to me, I'm like, bravo. Alright, there's very little really wrong with this show. As far as like negatives or things, they're almost like nitpicks. Like, the relationship between Momo and Spinnin kind of goes from, oh, you know what I'm saying, it's a vampire woman, she's gonna kill me, to, oh, I kind of want to fuck this vampire woman to, oh, I want to die for the vampire woman in like a couple of episodes, you know. It's there's not enough time for their relationship to build. There's a kind of a slow moment in the middle of the show where I think it's around episode 3 where they're trying to build a relationship between Momo and Fine, and they're using kind of like a road trip, like they're traveling to these different places because they're trying to find a place where vampires and humans can coexist. And that's kind of a slow moment, but it's building the relationship, and that's the most build that we really get until shit starts hitting the fan. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? I can't even really knock that for too much. The only other negative I can see with this show is the fact that the first episode, or first couple of episodes, which is the big attack on humanity, or the big attack on the human base, there's like a big like Deus Ex Machina moment where like something just happens and there's no real explanation. They don't really go into it. There's not a flashback to show, you know, these characters communicating and planning this or whatever. But a character that we don't know just does a thing. And the only reason this happens is to allow the vampires to get close enough to the humans so that we can have the big human action scene where people are dying and getting killed by the vampires, just for it to get rectified soon and then the fight to end. But they don't explain why this thing happened that facilitated all this. It's literally Deus Ex Machina. That's really it. Everything else in this show is freaking good. Like, of course, the animation is good. I mean, it's freaking Wit Studio. It pulls a lot from Romeo and Juliet, you know, which I feel like Wit Studio is kind of just going through like classic stories, because like Bubble was the Little Mermaid, like the Hans Christian Andersen Little Mermaid, and now Vampire in the Garden is Romeo and Juliet. Now I can't wait to see their take on Macbeth. Can we get like a Wit Studios anime version with waifu's version of Macbeth? So, after weighing everything up, you know what I'm saying, Vampire in the Garden is short, sweet, to the point. It left me not needing more, but wanting more. If you get my drift, you know what I'm saying? I didn't need more, like, oh, I need more things explained, but I wanted more, because that's just how good it was. This gets a B. Vampire in the Garden gets a B. Bro, watch it. If you got Netflix, it's 5 episodes. Alright, I knocked it out in 2 days. I didn't marathon the whole thing, but you probably could just marathon the whole thing. It's 2.5 hours. That's shorter than a Lord of the Rings movie. Okay? So yeah, you probably can knock this out in like a day. So that's about it for this. Of course, if you want more videos like this from me, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell button, do all that stuff that YouTube requires you to do to continue getting videos from me. Comment because I like to talk to you. Follow me because I'm going to start shouting out people who share my video tweets on Twitter. So if you want to get a shout out on the video, I will shout you out if you follow me on Twitter and share my video tweet. But yeah, that's about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, people, keep it real.